with my assistant Aaron Lenz and members of our Highlands team, and the point of this is to give you the specific skills for the abs, arms, and legs that we discussed in the clinic, so you have a better idea of how that goes and what to do with your athletes. The first, we'll start with our abs, actually. Then we'll go through the arms and then the legs and the specific exercises. All right, let's get started.
The very first ab exercise that we're going to be doing are what we call cherry pickers. For this, it's kind of like all of these are going to be kind of in the sit-up type position. For this one, your legs are going to be bent. We want our kids' legs to be bent and about 6 inches above the ground. We never want their legs to hit the ground. And while they're bent in that 6 inches above the ground, go ahead and do that, guys. What we want to focus on is you're twisting side to side. You want both of your hands to hit each side as you go. So hands down, you're twisting the other side, and twisting the other side. And then the slower is actually better. The more twist you can get, the better, and that's why we make both of our kids use both their hands to hit both sides. That way it forces them to get the whole twist and they're not cheating. The next one that we're going to do is what we call the jackknife. This is going to be probably the most difficult exercise that we do. A lot of our kids struggle with doing this, but it's also the most beneficial if they can do it correctly. So for this, we have Lydia. She's going to start out in the laid out position, and her arms are going to be above her head, so we're fully laid out. The whole idea of a jackknife is to get your legs up and your arms up to meet pretty much at the same point. So legs down again. All right. When you do this, once again, you're going to keep your legs 6 inches above the ground. All right. So go ahead and start there, 6 inches above. And as the legs come up, your fingers want to touch the same thing, all the way back down. And that is a jackknife. Okay. Well done, Lydia. Now, go ahead and stop. Good. A lot of the kids are going to have trouble doing this when you first start doing them. So a little alternative that makes it a little bit easier is go ahead and start with your legs up in the raised position. All right. So about where they would be for a jackknife, but you're just doing the arms instead. All right. So leave the legs steady. Good. And try to touch it as best as possible. Good. And good. So that's a little alternative for your kids that struggle with the jackknife.
All right, the next exercise we're going to show are bicycles. You start by going in the crunch position, and the whole goal of this is to have this arm hit this knee and alternate and extend that knee out. And then you would keep going like these gentlemen are doing. Again, slower the better, so it's not a race to get through, but it's really activating the core and your abs to do this. That's the bicycle. All right, the next one that we're going to show are the leg raises. The goal on this is to be flat and have your feet 6 inches above the floor or off the floor, and you hold it there. So you don't want to be up farther or down really low. And we will count 10, 15, 20 seconds and then break, and then we'll go back and do a couple sets of those. So those are the leg raises.
This next one, we're actually going to do 3 different sets of exercises within the same setting. So the girls are started with their in the lying down position. First one we're going to do are what we call leg lifts. So we're going to start with 6 inches above the ground for each of the girls. So once more, 6 inches. And then once we get 6 inches above the ground, they're just going to do one leg at a time, lift it to, about waist level, I guess, and then back down. And once they get back down, they raise the other one. All right, and then just right back down, alternating, and once again, just slower is better with this one. Okay? Go ahead and rest for a second. Go ahead and rest. Good. Next one, what you're going to do, same position. It's going to be 6 inches above the ground. We just call this a spread eagle. So once again, start with 6 inches above the ground. All right, and both legs are just going to spread apart at the same time, and then back to starting position, and then back out, and then back to starting position. Okay, go ahead and rest. All right, so 2 different exercises that you can do. You got leg lifts and spread eagle, both from the same position. And then what we also do, what we call just a combo with these 2 things. So it's leg lift combo spread eagle. So we'll go one leg at a time, leg, spread. One leg, and spread. And perfect, rest. And those are 3 more of our ab exercises.
A very standard core exercise is the plank. There are a couple ways that you can do this. Basically, you're in push-up position, except you're on your forearms like this, and you want your back to stay flat, not up or down. And you can hold this for anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds to start. Another combination of that is you could lift up your one leg at a time for like 15, 20 seconds. Again, just a couple inches off the ground, no more than 6. You can continue to do that and alternate those. You can also do side plank, which is like this, except you're on your side, and it works a different area of your abdomen. So that is a standard plank, and that can be done within 2 minutes and get a good workout.
Everybody just has the regular push-ups that you can always do no matter what, but we like to change things up and do a little different variation on each push-up. The first one we're going to show is the elevated push-up. So obviously you can see we have a chair that Will can put his feet on for this. If you have a hill, you can use that as well. So you can do downhill push-ups. You can also use a hill for uphill sit-ups if you want to do that. But before Will kills me, we're going to go ahead and start the elevated push-up. So if you start anywhere to a foot, foot and a half, and you just want to do the same thing. So with the push-up, you're always aiming to try to get your nose as close to the ground as possible. His arms are square with his chest, which is good, and straight back up, and good. Perfect. So here at Highlands, we have a combined boys and girls cross-country team. So the elevated push-ups can sometimes be a little bit difficult for our girls to do. We still want them to do them, just we limit the number that they do, and sometimes we can find less of an incline. So in this case, Erin, let's go ahead and get the same elevated position. Alright, so same position, she's just going to go down. We would rather that your girls go slowly and just get, if they can only get 2 or 3, go down again. And maybe one more. Good, good rest. If they can get maybe 2 or 3 very good ones, it's way better than them just trying to rush through 10 of them. Next exercise that we're going to do is what we call side-to-side push-ups. The focus on this is to get a little bit more in the upper arm area, upper chest area. These are a little bit more difficult to do, and it's really easy to do these incorrectly. So let's go ahead and start with the basic push-up position. All right, so there's actually basically 5 different steps that are involved in one set of these. So the first one's going to be down, regular push-up, back up, left arm kick out. All right, and then here you want to focus the push-up on the arm that is actually kicked out. So it's not straight down with your body, it's more to the side. Good, back up, center again, straight down push-up, right arm, and down. Back up, one more in the center, very good. With the side-by-side, it's really easy to kind of not get what you're supposed to out of these by doing them incorrectly. So I'm going to have Matt demonstrate what an incorrect side-by-side looks like so you kind of know what to look for when your kids are doing them. So once again, straight down, and then when you get to the side, all right, go in left arm. Now, what you should be doing is focusing on here. What a lot of kids like to do is just straight down still. You're not really getting anything more out of that. It should be more to the side, good, and then back to the middle. Okay, so that's just one good thing to look out for while your kids are doing it. Thank you.
Okay, the next exercise that we're going to do with arms, we use dips, and you can use the same like bench or whatever you used for the elevated push-ups. You just need some place where you can do these. We practice at a park, so it's easy to have a picnic table or something like that to use. So what he's going to do is a standard dip, and he's going to go down, not touch the ground, and then up and down and up, and we will have him do sets of those with like 15 or 20 depending on how they are going. One problem that some people have is that they will be too far out here, so they're not close to the step or seat. So you want to be close to it so you're really going straight down and not out. So there's a dip. Okay, the next arm exercise that we do are crawl outs. So what you want to do here is keep your legs straight the whole time. They're going to be standing like this, and you basically crawl out to the center and do a push-up. So this is how it's done. They'll go down and then walk back up, making sure that their legs are straight the entire time, and they'll do one more. A push-up and then back. And again, with some of the younger ones that I can't quite do as many, we just give them less reps and make sure that they do those the correct way. But that is a crawl out.
The last two that we're actually going to do requires 2 people, so you need partners for the drill. This first one is wheelbarrow, and we're going to do wheelbarrow push-ups. We are limited in the amount of space that we have here. Usually at practice, we will try to go 30 to 40 to sometimes 50 meters with these, depending on how much room you have. And we prefer that you try to do these in the grass, just because it can get a little bit dangerous. You don't want kids to be falling on concrete. You'd rather them fall on the grass. So with this, you need a partner. I'm sure you've all done wheelbarrows at some point in time in your life. It's a wheelbarrow. You're going to take a few steps, do a push-up, take a few steps, do a push-up. So these guys are going to demonstrate. So up in the wheelbarrow position. So step, step, push-up. Crawl, crawl, push-up. Crawl, push-up. And one more. Perfect. Okay, hold it down slowly. Perfect. All right, the next thing that we're going to do while we actually have partners is what we call leg throws. So can I get one of you guys on the ground? Okay, and all the way on the ground. His partner is going to have his feet right where his head is. It's really important that the person on the ground actually holds the ankles for stability. It's going to be really important in this. All right? So what's going to happen is Will's going to bring his legs straight up. The legs are not, go ahead, grab. The legs are never bent on this. That's a real key. You got to keep them straight to get the most out of it. And what's going to happen here is basically resistance. Matt is going to try to push Will's legs straight, side to side, unpredictable. It doesn't matter which way he does it. And Will is just going to resist it. He's going to make sure his legs do not hit the ground. He's going to bring him back up. Matt's going to throw him again. Okay, so let's go ahead and demonstrate this. Go ahead and give it a good throw. There you go, keep it up, Will. Hard throw. Come on, a little bit harder. There you go. Harder, one more. And one more. Good. And those are leg throws. We're actually going to show you 3 different leg exercises that we have here. Kind of works your whole body, but mostly you kind of feel it in your legs when you're finished. We call them squat thrusts. People call them burpees. There's different names for these. I did them when I was a kid in elementary school, and we called them squat thrusts, so that's what I still call them. But the basic is just 4 steps. If you're not adding anything to it, the basic squat thrust is just 4 basic steps. So with Lydia, we're going to go down slowly. So first step is straight down. Next step is kick your legs out. Next step is kick your legs back in. And then next is straight back up with a little hop. All right, so that's your basic squat thrust. So you can have them do repetitions of 10 to 12 of those. What we like to do is put a little variations on those though. So the first one that we're going to do is what we call a running man. So it's still the basic 4 steps, but after your first 2 steps, you're going to add 2 of the running man leg kicks basically, and then back up to the squat thrust again. So Lydia's going to show you what that looks like. So yeah, let's go side. So down, out, 1 leg, 2 leg, out, back up, and good. All right. That's the basic running man. What we do is usually the first couple I will do with them slowly, step by step, because these can get really confusing if you have some uncoordinated runners out there. So once again, I'm going to have Lydia do it slowly, just with the running man. Very good. Okay. So that's what the running man looks like. The next variation that we have on that is, once again, spread eagle. So we had spread eagle with the abs, now we have spread eagle with the squat thrust as well. So same thing, she's just gonna go down. Instead of the running man, she's gonna replace this with a spread eagle. So Lydia, go ahead. And go ahead, one more for me. Alright, very good. And the last thing that we do with this is we have a running man spread eagle combination that we do. So these are very, very difficult. You don't want to do these the first week. You want to make sure that they know how to do the ones that we just demonstrated first before we actually add on to this. So with the combination, it's going to be everything. We're going to go down into a running man, into a spread eagle, and then back up. And that'll be one set. So Lydia, let's go ahead. Alright, and we're going to go slowly one more time because I know that there's a lot going on in that one step. Alright, so down, out, running man, spread eagle, out, up, and jump. Very, very good. And that's 4 different combinations of the squat thrust. Another variation we have with push-ups is if you have partners. Once again, these are what we call tag team push-ups. So you're going to start both actually on the ground facing each other, so you want to leave enough room that your heads don't hit, so this is actually pretty decent. 4 or 5 inches is good enough. So they're going to go in sync, so they're going to go down. When they come up, their opposite hands have to touch like a high five, and then back down, then next side, good, and then down, good, and one more. Perfect. Very good. That's tag team push-ups.
Okay, the next and the last drill that we'll do are the jumping lunges. And what I suggest first is to teach them how to do a lunge properly before you start doing the jumping aspect of it, which a standard lunge is, Matt will show you, just going down with one knee, not quite to the ground, but you can touch it if you're in the grass, and then back up. And you can actually walk and do these, or you can do them in place and just come back up to the standing position again. The variation on that is the jumping lunge, which is a little bit more difficult. It also is a little different for people that are a little uncoordinated. So the whole point of this is that your back is straight. So the whole time he's going to try to be straight the whole time. When his right leg goes down, his left hand goes down. And you'll see that as he demonstrates. Okay, and you can stop. If you notice, he's not jumping very high. The jump is just merely to switch your feet and not to jump real high to get distance. So again, the jumping lunge is here. Okay, great. And thank you.